Right, well, at least 12 civilians have been killed as Pakistani security forces opened fire on protesters in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, which is witnessing one of its biggest unrest in recent years. The protests, which started over the government's failure to meet 38 key demands, have snowballed into a broader agitation against excesses by the military, bringing the region to a standstill. The unrest, which entered its fourth day today, saw protesters clash with the army in Dandial as the government rushed thousands of additional troops to quell the unrest. Apart from Muzaffarabad, the violence has spilled on to Rawalakot, Neelum Valley and Kotli. At least 12 people have been killed and 200 civilians have been injured in these protests. However, the global media continues to ignore the conflict, failing to raise the issue for the world to see. Let us take a look at the global media's failure to report on these crises. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show at this point in time is Major General G.G. Dwivedi, Global and Strategic Defense Expert, Mr. Utpal Kaul, Coordinator of the Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora. He's a prominent Kashmiri activist as well. General Dwivedi, this is obviously a big deal which is happening in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. I see a lot of influencers. I see a lot of activists, including Greta Thunberg, who was just recently intercepted by the Israeli forces trying to smuggle aid into Gaza, raking up this issue. But the fact of the matter is that this selective sympathy towards certain regions in the world is not fooling anyone, sir.
Absolutely, Vineet, because all these global activists, they are very selective when they pick up an issue. And you rightly brought out that people like Thunberg, they will ignore because this doesn't actually give them the right kind of photo op or the leverage. But the point is that this issue cannot be ignored. Now we need to see this in the larger perspective. Pakistan government or this military, their record is dismal as far as the minorities are concerned, as far as the minority regions are concerned. They have used a heavy-handed approach, be it Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In fact, last week only they used their own air force to bomb this region, and there were about 30 civilian casualties to this on this episode. And now we are seeing what's happening in the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The issue is that there is total failure of the governance of the region. They get stepmotherly treatment, and the Pakistani army is used blatantly to commit human rights violations. And people are tolerating, but how long will they tolerate? And this violations and the violence in now in the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is evidence that people cannot now tolerate anymore. There are two, three very important issues that are on the table here. First and foremost, their demands have not been met, which are genuine, whether it is subsidy, whether it is taxation. Also, they have raised the demand of the abolition of 12 seats which have been reserved for the refugees. The second point is that there is no development as such in these regions, only the exploitation. In Balochistan, the Chinese are in big way extracting all the minerals. Now, even Munir has tried to lure President Trump in POK, the again Chinese and big way building infrastructure, dams, and also Pakistan economic corridor. So the point I'm trying to make is that these regions are being exploited, human rights are being violated, and their voices are being suppressed by the excesses of the Pakistan army. And the last point is political and the military dispensation is actually looting the country, and people are well aware of it, that they are only filling their own coffers
and selling these minerals and resources in the White House through the Pakistani army chief.
He is not commanding the army; he is only selling his country, and he is actually a front face as a I would say a economist who is running the country. Now that's what is the whole situation all about, Vineet.